Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 and I'm back at it with another video for you guys. And this is another One Piece anime episode review. And this is the review for episode 943. Now, I will say this. Other than really the funny Sanji Zoro moment and then that amazing, Sanji animation there, right there. Oh my goodness, that was some great animation. And then, Kid, what's going to potentially maybe happen to Kid and Killer, and just the stakes in that. And then really what I would say probably is the biggest moment of this episode was the essentially tease that Big Mom is at the end of the thing, has arrived at the prison and she's going to be freaking invading. I guess I can say this episode was fine for what it was, but unlike the last few episodes, it wasn't very, I don't know, in terms of me, for me, it didn't do it for me. I still enjoyed the episode, but it was it kind of fell off a bit from the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks, I think, were much better than this, other than, a few moments here and there. But I still thought tonight's episode was still a pretty fairly decent episode and stuff like that. So, yeah, anyways, so where we last left off is we get the revelations about what happened with Kid and Killer and all that shenanigans stuff like that. It actually does start out with the prison, but really they start with the prison stuff, and then it kind of goes back to it later. The prison scene at the start of the episode ends off with Queen saying, "Oh, there's gonna be new rules for the Sumo Inferno," and then they say it they repeat that entire animation line, later in the tail end of the episode. So okay. Anyways, Zoro again is fighting Kiroshiro. He and Kiroshiro are kind of at a standstill, and they are, just kind of at a draw until Kiroshiro says, "Oh, you guys are in trouble now." Another thing to mention, Sanji is also still fighting Drake, and what he is doing is, because he sees that Otoko's in his arms, he passes Otoko to Usopp, and Usopp runs off with Otoko to get out of there and trying to retreat essentially and stuff like that. But anyways, after Kiroshiro said, "Oh, you guys are in trouble now because now I got backup," we find out that Orochi's ninjas are his Oibandansha. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm just gonna say his ninjas because that word is too hard to talk about or say. What is it? And what is it? Orochi's ninjas have, from really his banquet a few episodes ago, show up and they're here to back up, Kiroshiro and the others that are obviously, getting beat up on. Now, the one four-headed guy, or the tall, long-headed dude, I'm gonna have to get his name. I'm gonna have to get his name soon. Essentially, he tells Zoro, "Oh yeah, the jig is up, guys. We know all you straw hats and everything, and he has the bounties to prove it and everything. And he's got all the way from Zoro all the way to their Captain Luffy. And, he's like, listen, you all are going to be captured, and regardless what happens to you, it is what it is." Now, again, they found out that information thanks to Hawkins, because Hawkins is one of the smarter guys on the frickin' Kaido's crew or whatever. Anyways, the Straw Hats eventually get cornered by some of the ninjas, Robin and Nami. They get cornered by one of them. Usopp and Otoko gets cornered by a few of them, and then they actually see Hiyori running, and one of the freaking dudes, the one with the red hair, I don't know his name either, calls these two ninjas called Bujin and Rajin to go after Hiyori and chase after her because she was with Zoro. Now, Brook actually manages to take care of some of the ninjas, the ones that were cornering Usopp and Otoko, and Nami and Robin, manages to take care of them easily. They just run off because they're scared of his freaking little, what is it, his little form where he pretends to be a ghost essentially and stuff like that. So yeah. Now we cut back to the prison for a quick second, And essentially, we see Kid and Killer are, they get hanged by their freaking feet over a barrel of water. And Queen actually makes the other Beast Pirates lower them into the water, and they start drowning in the water and stuff like that. Now, Queen goes on to say that the Sumo Infernal is back on. Then it cuts back to what Law is doing, and we see Law was clearly going to the prison where his crewmates were at, Beppo and the others. And essentially, we see Hawkins show up alongside Law, and Hawkins is like, yeah, I figured you would show up for your crewmates. So, yeah, now Law is about ready to throw down, and he's ready to start to get fight. Like, he's already ready to do his room and everything. And then that's when you see Hawkins raise his forearm, and then I'll use my shaver. He frickin' just cuts into his arm, and then you see one of Law's crewmates actually get affected by him, by Hawkins, cutting himself, which, that's him using his devil fruit, making, devil fruit, him using his devil fruit on his crewmates to attack him and stuff like that. And then essentially, Hawkins is like, well, I just took one of my 4th lives. Well, you got 3 more lives, Law. And that means, in order to fight me, you're going to have to kill your crewmates, essentially. Which means the more he attacks Hawkins, the more his crew will get hurt or end up worse, dying, potentially. So, yeah. If they should go more into depth with that stuff, because I think we already know what Hawkins' devil fruit is. In terms of the anime, if they announced it, they should have probably announced that way back in the Sabori Archipelago arc. I'll probably look up his devil fruit just in case they go back to that whole thing, to, make sure to be prepared, because I feel like they won't reveal his devil fruit, the name and his power, essentially when we get back to that thing. But, that is actually leaving Law in a very tough spot. And I'm like, so, Law's screwed here. He has to either give himself in, or he's going to have to risk potentially killing his crewmates to beat Hawkins. So, yeah, Law is totally in a very, very bad position. And I don't know how he's going to get out of this position, but Hawkins, okay, that's smart on Hawkins. Smart on Hawkins. He's a very smart man. And hey, it's messed up, but hey, he's a pirate, so he can do what he wants. So, yeah. Anyways, what happens as Sanji's fighting Drake, which the funny thing is they do mention, and I did bring this up last week, I'm like, shouldn't Drake actually, know that since the Vinsmoke name is in Sanji's name, shouldn't he know the Vinsmokes since he's so infatuated with Stealth Black and everything? And okay, thank you. My questions were answered here, because Drake even asked, he's like, you're tougher. You're just as tough as I thought. You're expected of a Vinsmoke and stuff like that. So, okay, he does know about the Vinsmoke. So I was about to, start complaining. I'm like, okay. And then he even says in an idea, he's like, so you were the one with the Stealth Black suit called Soba Mask, weren't you? And Sanji's like, that wasn't me, but you can think what you want to think. Because he's trying to hide it from him and stuff like that. I saw that very funny. But anyways, remember how Hiyori was getting, chased after by those ninjas, Orochi's ninjas? Yeah, she actually gets somewhat captured and she screams out. And like typical Sanji, when he hears a damsel in distress or a woman in distress, he has to go and help. And they did this so funny because he literally turns around and and they have some kind of lock-on mechanism, when he looks at freaking Hiyori's face as a way of oh, it's robotic Sanji seeing a woman in distress and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, serious mode now. So then he gets back to doing Diable Jambe, and this was freaking beautifully animated. Oh my goodness, one of the best animated, scenes we have gotten in, the one arc, or one of the many, beautiful animations, scenes we get. And essentially he knocks out Drake by giving him just literally, dozens of kicks of his Diable Jambe, which I think, funny enough, it's one of his moves in Pirate Warriors 4. It is one of his moves where he just does rapid kicks. And essentially because of it, now I don't know if it really did, but it looks like he knocked Drake the hell out doing this move. So it seems like Sanji, pissed off and going to save a woman, is, I would say, stronger than Drake. Like I said, we don't know if he was knocked out, like, fully, because they didn't show it. They kept Drake hidden in the clouds for a reason. I wouldn't be shocked if Drake isn't knocked out, but if he really is knocked out, I'll be like, okay, Sanji is actually stronger than we all thought he was. And I know Sanji's a really strong individual, but I'm like, okay, he literally took out a captain of his own pirate crew, or he took out ex-Drake, like Jesus, in his transformed state as well. So, you know, Sanji's really powerful. And stuff like that. So yeah. Now this was a hilarious scene, and I was debating, should I use one of the animation, you know, scenes of him doing the thing, which it's actually one of those because obviously you clicked on the video, or would I do the would my thumbnail be the one where essentially what happens is Sanji is about to go get and save Hiyori, and he's like, I'm almost there, and the next thing you know, Zoro gets in the way, literally cox blocks him, and Zoro does what Sanji does, and he's the one that comes to Hiyori's aid and saves her. Again, like I said, they are really, in the last few weeks of this show, have really been dropping the hints of Zoro x Hiyori, and the crazy thing is this. You know, I saw this tweet like a few, you know, I think even a month ago, but it was weeks ago, and somebody said, oh, you know, the funny thing about the Monster Trio's effect is they all somewhat have a love interest in girl personalities. Luffy with Boa Hancock, the tweet also said as well, is like they all somewhat are in, you know, a romantic relationship with princesses. Even though technically, I don't get to it, Zoro with Hiyori, because she's somewhat of a princess, I guess you can say, as well as, you know, Sanji with Pudding. Even though, technically, Pudding's not a princess, but I guess you can put her up in the line. But I say, you know, all that the Monster Trio has, I guess you can say, girls that are into them. We know that, you know, Boa is into Luffy. I think it's without a doubt, even after this, I think you could say Hiyori would more than likely fall for Zoro. I will probably not like love sick crazy, but you can definitely see that she potentially has feelings for Zoro, and I think their little relationship is adorable. And then Sanji and Pudding, you know, Pudding didn't develop feelings for him after near the end of the Whole Cake Island arc, after Sanji, you know, said her eye was beautiful, essentially, and stuff like that. I do find that funny how the Monster Trio, you know, has their rightful girls that some people ship with, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I found it so funny because Sanji gives this hilarious ass face of the fact that Zoro got in there and saved Hiyori before he did. Now, Hiyori, also another thing to mention, Hiyori's little veil that covered her head, yeah, that's off. So they might want to get out of there and hide her before somebody sees, hey, that's Komurasaki. She isn't dead. What the hell's going on here? And stuff like that. I did find it funny how during the face pause of Sanji, he's like, he knows that very beautiful woman. This guy has a lower bounty than me. He was like, why does he get the woman? So I was literally laughing. Anyways, the last few bits of the episode, it cuts back to the Udon prison, and we find out the new rule in the Sumo Infernal is that as long as Luffy and Hio are alive, Kid and Killer will be submerged in the barrel of water for that period of time, essentially drowning them. So essentially it's them dying or Luffy and Hio die. So yeah, and Queen makes a mention too, is like, Straw Hat, why are you so, upset about this? You shouldn't care. Oh, wait. Is it because they're your rivals from the worst generation? That's probably why. And stuff like that. Now, Luffy actually says he'll fight Queen. And Luffy, arming it, hockeys up his arm. He actually attacks Queen. But Queen blocks it and kind of... Now, I don't know why Queen, if he wants to kill Luffy so bad, hell, he says... in this episode, he's like, you're all gonna die. I don't understand why he should have just grabbed his damn arm and just pulled him out of the ring himself. And then guess what? Beep, 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 boom. Luffy loses his head. I don't understand, but it's okay. Plot, plot device. Anyways, he pushes Luffy back a bit, just knocking back his arm, and Luffy almost falls out of the ring, and you even have the collar start beeping up and stuff like that. But when Luffy gets back in the ring, it's a... it stops beeping. So it's a good thing to know that the collar does beep if you get, almost knocked out of the ring. So yeah, like I said, Queen even tells Luffy, is like, you fools think you really can get out of here alive. You're wrong. You're all going to die. And then the last, scene of the episode is Big Mom jumping near the gates of the prison, or of Udon prison, and essentially is at the gate saying, oh, Mama's here. I'm here to freaking F shit up, essentially. And yeah, and she ends her thing saying, Oki Rusho, or red bean soup. Which, when she finds out that that's all gone, that's not gonna go very well. So, and Big Mom is gonna get into the, prison and probably start, like I said, tearing shit up. So, that is going to be very, very crazy next week, and I'm looking very forward to next week. I can't wait to see Luffy's reaction to Big Mom there. So, and I feel like it's going to be the start of the thing where Big Mom will eventually, get her memory back and stuff like that. So, yeah, so next week seems to be good. Like I said, this episode wasn't bad. It was more, I would say, more, alright than bad, but I still enjoyed this episode for the most part and stuff like that. But yeah, so other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. So if you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this episode, your thoughts on the funny Sanji moment, as well as what to expect for Big Mom. Again, do not post spoilers in the comment section regarding future manga spoilers, because I do not want to be spoiled for anything going forward in the show for One Piece. So yeah. And also hit that subscribe button if you want to get more One Piece content. Again, I'm always going to plug in my video, this video. But Monday or Tuesday night, I'll upload me and my co-host, the Red Wolves, our thoughts of the Thriller Bark arc. So yeah, so that's really it. And so anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your night. And yeah, so till then guys. See you guys on the next video. Peace.